WWE Raw last week, truth be told, was an underwhelming affair. Even though SummerSlam is only days away, there isn't the same kind of buzz there is otherwise. If you consider the facts, this is alarming. For the first time in years, WWE Raw, SmackDown, and indeed the entire empire will face competition from a billionaire wrestling fan who, according to rumors, is likely to sign the two biggest free agents in wrestling. All we need to make WWE Raw as enjoyable as the version that beat Monday Nitro are genuine twists and turns. Maybe one or more of these surprises will make SummerSlam seem like a big deal. As always, you're welcome to share your thoughts and views in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. It would mean a lot. Can you list some surprises of your own? What would you personally like to see on WWE Raw? Number 5, Randy Orton returns to WWE Raw. To help Riddle out, AJ Styles and Omos have let it be known that nobody is taking the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships away from them. Riddle, in particular, has found himself unmatched against the onslaught of the two dominant tag team champions. Could a certain Viper show up on this week's show, to even the odds? It may finally be time for RK Bro to capture the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships, wrestling them away from the heels. They can mix it up with the likes of Mace and T-Bar, and maybe even babyface tag teams such as Ali and Mansoor at some point soon. The only reason this WWE Raw surprise ranks so very low on the list is that one can easily see it coming, but then again, sometimes, especially in these circumstances, it's the obvious that works best. Number 4, Shayna Baszler turns into WWE Raw's top female babyface. We did see a hint of dissension on WWE Raw last week between Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Fans have come to love them as a dominant tag team unit, but there may be more equity in having them go their separate ways. Shayna Baszler is a powerhouse technician waiting to be unleashed on WWE Raw this week. Could she break away from Nia Jax, choke her out, and establish herself as a top babyface in the women's division? Number 3, Gage Goldberg is in a tag team match against MVP and Bobby Lashley. Remember how former WWE Raw Tag Team Champion Nicholas didn't have to take a bump to win the title? Could Goldberg and his son Gage be placed in a similar sort of situation with Bobby Lashley and MVP? Goldberg could spear MVP and carry the momentum all the way to SummerSlam 2021. It would create a feel-good moment on WWE Raw between father and son. We know WWE is all about these special moments. Number 2. Alexa Bliss finds a friend from the WWE Raw women's roster. With the departure of WWE Raw superstar Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss is the sole supernatural-themed character in the company, but with all her powers, she's still outmatched against Eva Marie and Doudrop. Can she find some help from within the current roster? Asuka could make a valiant return to WWE Raw and be paired with Alexa Bliss in an entertaining tandem. Another option could be pairing Tamina Snuka up with Alexa Bliss until Natalya returns to action on WWE Raw once more. Number 1. Jinder Mahal brings back the Punjabi prison match. Have you clicked the subscribe button yet? If not, you are missing out. There's a lot more exciting content coming your way leading up to SummerSlam. How do Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre make their feud, heading into SummerSlam, seem interesting without titles in the mix? Bringing back the Punjabi prison once more could be a sure-shot way to add a different flavor to their upcoming encounter. Mojo Rawley filmed a hilarious clip outside Alexa Bliss' home during her birthday party and posted it on his Instagram story. The WWE Raw superstar hosted a party for her close friends and Mojo Rawley was one of the guests. Rawley can be seen enjoying Bliss' party in his latest Instagram stories. He decided to have some fun at the expense of Alexa Bliss though, and stated the following in the final story that he posted. "Happy birthday Alexa Bliss. I wasn't invited to your party, but I showed up to creep from the outside nonetheless." Read the text on the story. Mojo Rawley and Alexa Bliss are good friends and this isn't the first time that Rawley has crept up on Bliss. Mojo's fans may have watched several backstage WWE videos on YouTube where he can be seen creeping up on Alexa Bliss while she's busy working. Mojo Rawley was a WWE mainstay for about 9 years, and his biggest moment came at WrestleMania 33 where he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It looked like Rawley was in for a big push following his WrestleMania win, but nothing came of it. He spent the better part of his later years as a lower card act on the WWE roster. Rawley did find some success while teaming up with Zack Ryder on WWE TV for a brief period. He was released by WWE back in April, after being on the sideline for 10 months. As for Alexa Bliss, she has done it all in the business, and is one of the most successful female superstars in WWE history. She has won several women's titles across Raw and SmackDown, and is a former Women's Money in the Bank winner as well. Alexa Bliss is currently engaged to American musician Ryan Cabrera. As reported earlier via Fightful, Adam Cole was backstage at the most recent WWE SmackDown episode for a high-level meeting with Vince McMahon. Fightful Select released an update and noted that the meeting went well, and Vince McMahon seemed to have taken a liking to Adam Cole on a personal level. The report stated that Adam Cole was taken straight to Vince McMahon's office a few hours before SmackDown, and higher-ups received positive feedback about the interaction. Adam Cole was not seen backstage during the show and might have left following his meeting with Vince McMahon. The original plan was for Adam Cole to be brought in at the SmackDown show in Minnesota. However, due to logistical reasons, officials altered the schedule and had the former NXT champion show up at the Tampa event this week. Adam Cole has reportedly signed a short-term contract extension which will expire over SummerSlam weekend. It was added that storyline pitches for Adam Cole were made backstage at Raw and SmackDown over the past week, and it all comes down to whether he re-signs with WWE. According to WWE sources, Adam Cole has also been told that he is wanted on the main roster, and there are high chances of the superstar extending his stay in the company. The NXT Triple Crown Champion's WWE contract came to an end recently, and a deal was agreed upon for him to compete through SummerSlam. Adam Cole does not have a long-term contract with WWE, and Vince McMahon seemingly hopes to convince the superstar to sign another deal. Cole has reportedly made a good impression on the boss, which could aid his prospects on the main roster. The WWE status of Adam Cole is one of the biggest stories in wrestling, and as expected, it didn't take long for a few AEW rumors to circulate on the internet. Where do you see Adam Cole after SummerSlam? Will he join Vince McMahon's main roster contingent or leave for a new chapter outside WWE? Bray Wyatt and Ric Flair were released by WWE over a 2-day span. Could the two household names look to join AEW? Within a 2-day span, WWE released two of the most prominent names in the professional wrestling industry. In a stunner, the company announced last week that they had released two-time Universal Champion Bray Wyatt. 2 days later, the company parted ways with Hall of Famer Ric Flair, who was signed to a Legends contract. Flair later confirmed that he requested his release, citing the desire to focus on other business opportunities. Dave Meltzer reported more details regarding the releases of both Wyatt and Flair in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. John Laurinaitis informed Wyatt that his release was due to budget cuts, but according to Meltzer, the excuse isn't being bought. As far as the reason why, obviously nobody buys the budgetary cut story, and many who work within the licensing end with companies WWE does business with noted being shocked because he was both a major merchandise seller and companies that license WWE merchandise noted he was one of the best sellers there as well. Wyatt is under a 90-day non-compete clause. As for a potential move to AEW, Meltzer noted that Wyatt is a contemporary of Cody Rhodes, since the Rhodes and Mulligan family were close for decades. Wyatt's late grandfather, Blackjack Mulligan, frequently teamed up with Dusty Rhodes, Cody's father. Though Flair stated that he requested his release, Meltzer reported that WWE chairman Vince McMahon was looking at cutting salaries. He also suggested that Flair may be intrigued with an opportunity in AEW since he would get more time on TV. Meltzer added Flair apparently complained to McMahon about the creative involving Charlotte Flair. It was also noted that Flair is good friends with AEW president and CEO Tony Khan, who was invited to the Nature Boys wedding back in 2018. Previous reports stated that Flair was unhappy with the way the company was booking Charlotte, but the wrestling icon said the rumors were absolutely not true. Wyatt was one of the most creative and popular yet underused superstars in the WWE. Even though Flair doesn't wrestle anymore, he remains a giant draw in the wrestling business. AEW has moved quickly to recruit several former WWE talents in the past, and they shouldn't hesitate to add Wyatt and Flair, assuming those two are both interested in coming aboard. We could even get to see Wyatt in a new avatar.